Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe.
Are not Palestinian, you fucking moron, you racist piece of shit. Because Iraq and the Pan-Arabic nationalist movement that arise out of Zionist
You are out of your mind.
Not about Palestinians. You
okay, so what did the Jews in Iraq have to do with fucking Israel? You bigot. You are so out of your mind.
Iraqis,
dude, you screaming and grandstanding doesn't mean you're
Iraqi
right.
government's racism during the Pan-Arabic nationalist movements as a vindication for why, or a comparison as to why Israel had to do the Nakba.
You know what? I'm going to say it. This entire debate, if you want to call it that, it was never about having a constructive conversation or having intelligent dialogue where we talk about Israel and Palestine conflicts. It was never about that. It was always about making the other side, making the other person look like a clown. They had so much pent-up aggression against each other that both of them were looking for quick gotcha moments and sound bites for their, later reposting it on their channels and their social media and whatnot. Neither of them really cared that much about the conflict at hand, at least in this video. It really felt like they were weaponizing this conflict to air out or maybe even mask their personal grievances against each other. And this debate felt nothing but, a steak, a piece of flesh for the people on Twitter to chew on. It's like, here you go. Something for you to talk about, something for you to be outraged over, because we want relevancy, we want engagement, and that's how we make our money. All of this was for nothing but shock value, drama, and clicks. Truly. And both are at fault, in my opinion, for even having this debate. Because if you cannot, first of all, I'll talk about Ethan, okay? If you're going to yell at Hasan, how do you expect him to debate you if you keep interrupting him, if you keep diverging from the topic, or say, oh, okay, let's move on. You asked him a nuanced question, and if he attempts to give a nuanced answer, you mock him and cut him off immediately. Like, what sort of loser behavior is that, Ethan? I feel like Hasan's only goal was to make Ethan look like a fool, and Ethan did a fantastic job in doing that. He looked dumb as fuck. When he basically admitted that his wife is a terrorist.
Okay, so you think the IDF is a terror organization?
I said yes.
You believe the IDF
I think it would be. Okay. I think it's fair to characterize them that way.
Okay. Your wife was in the IDF.
Yeah.
Do you believe your wife is a terrorist?
Of course not.
A few moments later.
I don't think she knew where they were going or what they were doing.
What she participated in is called
okay, she's a terrorist, bro.
To me, it was the single most shocking and humiliating moment for him. Like, he basically put his wife on blast. And right, that her image is not recovering from this. Her and her brand. If I were Hila, if I was his wife, I would literally file for divorce at this point. Because I feel like Hila is the calm and serene one, prefers living a private life with her money, and Ethan is the loudmouth, chaotic one who likes trolling and likes getting the attention on the internet. So I think that this pairing is not going to last very long, especially with this whole Israel and Palestine conflict. I think it's going to drive a wedge between them, and it's going to severely affect their relationship now moving forward. I'm honestly amazed how many L's Ethan has been taking lately. It's back-to-back humiliation. First it was Hasan, then iDubbbz dropped the content cop on him, then he got bodied by Sam Cedar, and now with this latest Hasan debate, he's being ripped to shreds on Twitter all over again. I bet you Trisha is laughing in a corner right now. Because if you think about it, if you are familiar with the H3 frenemies lore, Trisha was in the exact same position 3 years ago, and it was a mass cancellation. There was a lot of hate and criticism directed towards Trisha, and it really did seem like the entirety of the online world was against her. So I bet you Trisha is someplace smiling and laughing at how she got her karma back on Ethan. Life works in funny ways. You just never know when the tables are going to turn on you. On another note, people have been criticizing Ethan by saying that he masks his Zionism. And I felt like touching on this point because I do see the criticism as valid because, yeah, on the surface, he does say that Israel is committing a mass genocide on Gaza.
About Israel, okay? Listen, since the first time I've said it, and I'll say it many more times, the cabinet is run by genocidal maniacs, okay? They're led by Netanyahu, who should resign in disgrace and go to prison for being a war criminal, okay? He's made a coalition of the most like radically conservative freaks that don't represent, by the way, the majority of Israelis. And they're hell-bent on genocide, frankly, overtly. They've committed tons of war crimes in Gaza, including the killing of children, obviously, because Gaza is one of the most densely populated places in the world. 50% of the residents are under 18, so when you bomb a building, the chances that you're killing children is pretty much 100%.
But beneath the surface, still, you can kind of see that he does have some sort of affinity and loyalty towards Israel.
Yeah, it's crazy. People think that I'm being like racist or something when I say that. I think if you, as an Israeli, go to Ramallah, they'll kill you.
What do you mean you think?
I think that
That's
I'm
a
saying
fact.
if you go there as Israeli, you take the turn there, you'll be died. They'll kill you.
It's not only killed, it's like lynched. It's a brutal death.
Let's not forget, him and his wife worked in Israel for several years. They met there. And if I'm not mistaken, they were married too. So I feel like that they have some sort of loyalty because they see it as their home. And his Zionism isn't something that he outright says, but it's clear that he's not exactly neutral about the conflict. He's not doing a very good job at hiding that bias. And I think a lot of people are finally starting to notice. You know what? Honestly, I didn't even want to make this video. I'm a microscopically small channel. Like, I've been doing this for just a month now, and the last thing I want is to end up on H3H3's radar. They are notorious for going after small creators, mass reporting them, striking them, the whole bit, and I genuinely don't want my channel to be nuked before it even starts. So yeah, reason number one, I'm low-key scared of what Ethan and his unhinged fan base might do. Reason number two, I don't want to box myself into being just a political commentary channel. Yes, politics is a huge part of my life, but I don't want to get stuck in one lane. That's not the vision. And you know what? The biggest reason I wasn't going to do this video because the debate didn't feel worth it. You know, like it wasn't productive. It wasn't insightful. It was just bait. Like straight up content bait, performative nonsense. Nothing good came out of it. You know what? One thing I noticed, Ethan's Tourette's was flaring up during the entire debate. Like, am I the only one who saw that? He was so visibly shaken up, anxious, nervous, and agitated that his tics were going off non-stop. And I looked it up just to be sure, and it turns out that, yeah, anxiety does make your Tourette's worse. So that tells me that this man was scared shitless during the entire debate. You can't fake that. There is no way he was relaxed. And look, I don't even like sticking up for Ethan Klein. He's a piece of shit most days. But I'll be honest, a small part of me felt bad watching that. Seeing his Tourette's get worse, watching him struggle in real time, it was sad. Truly. That shit wasn't performative. That was real. And even if he is a horrible person, no one deserves to be humiliated through a condition that they cannot control. So, yeah. But what made me even more disgusted was fucking Asmongold, his hamster-looking ass, chiming in, being full-on ableist prick, saying that Ethan should hide his Tourette's more.
Like, you know what I said before about like the live streaming, like him live streaming with like those tics and stuff like that. I think it does delegitimize him and it makes him look unhinged because people don't understand like what Tourette's is. Like, for example, if you go back and you watch a lot of my old videos, I used to cover my mouth a lot whenever I would smile because I was missing all my teeth here, right? And so I didn't want people to see that because I thought it would look bad. So in often cases, there are things that you probably just shouldn't display to your audience, or you should try to avoid displaying to your audience, even though they're a part of your identity, because it could lead people to have conclusions about you or draw those conclusions that are not charitable. And I know it might sound like a heartless thing to say, but I'm a pragmatic person and I'm just being honest and I'm trying to look out for what I think is in somebody's best interest. And sometimes that means telling them something they might not want to hear.
He compared it to how he used to cover his mouth early on in his career because his teeth were rotting. Like, Asmon, are you fucking serious?
Are you serious? Like, are you serious?
Like, how dim-witted a person needs to be. Like, that's not the same. That's not even remotely the same. And I don't care how much you hate Ethan or that he's a Zionist or whatever. That was just straight up ableist bullshit that Asmon pulled. And it just proves what kind of an absolute shithead he is. Anyway, enough about that. One of the actual highlights of the debate for me was when Hasan told Ethan to just stick to the goofs and gaffs, like making your entertaining videos, stay the fuck out of politics, and stop calling everyone who disagrees with you anti-Semitic.
Stop doing petty drama content, shut the fuck up about politics, and get back to goofs and gaffs. And it will be fine. People will forget that you have behaved in this way. But you don't want to do that. It's become a fucking personal agenda for you that people don't like you. It must be anti-Semitism. No, they don't like you because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And you have to be babied by goddamn producers as a 40-year-old adult. That's the reason why people don't like it. That's
Very
it.
good. Very good.
That shit needed to be said. And it needed to be said to his face. Also, when Hasan looked at Dan and told him to stop babying Ethan.
Productive. Dan, he needs you more than you need him. Stop babying this man, please. He needs you more than you need him. Stop babying him.
Well, I know that's true, but I don't baby him.
Come on. Okay. All right.
You want to target the crew more? You want to drum up
her
ass?
It's fine. It's fine.
I have a tremendous amount of respect for the crew.
That was another real ass moment because, let's be honest, Dan has been enabling Ethan's bullshit for years. And Hasan calling it out right then and there, that was satisfying as hell. So yeah, good for him. Oh, sidebar, Destiny, you need to stay in your own fucking lane and mind your own business. I saw you laughing and kikiing, fully taking Ethan's side like it's some fucking sitcom, giving your fake-ass reactions, inserting yourself like you always do. Maybe worry about your own mess, your sex scandal, your lawsuit, before reacting to Hasan and Ethan's drama like it's your job. Like, this man is being accused of sexual assault. Maybe focus on that, handle your own shit before poking your nose in someone else's. I saw your hypocritical ass all over Twitter and YouTube, acting like some moral authority. Please. God, I can't stand Destiny. He's just a little worm who sucks Nazi dick. And you know what? While we're at it, it's so painfully obvious to me that he has a crush on Hasan. Like, this man is obsessed. It's giving repressed thirst. He wants him. but he's stuck in this weird love-hate spiral. He'll never admit to it, but the sexual tension from him is screaming, and it's embarrassing at this point.
Don't put on public display that you're a moron. At least have the self-possession to shut up.
Also, hands down, the cringiest moment of the entire debate was Ethan calling himself a legend, throwing his leg up on the table, knocking over the goddamn glass. Like, that shit was physically hurtful to watch. Like, I got secondhand embarrassment so bad. I literally had to pause the video. Ugh.
You, my friend, are a coward, and I am the fucking legend that responded to it live with zero hesitation. But you know why? Because I'm not a liar.
And this is exactly what I mean when I say that this wasn't even about Israel and Palestine. This wasn't a debate. This was a circus. Both of them were clowns, straight up, loud, messy, and performative bullshit. Nobody was there to inform or educate. They were just there to act it out for clicks. Also, let's talk about the part where Ethan, a man who literally has Tourette's, starts mocking Hasan's speech.
But go on.
Have you read any of the other ones?
Yes.
Really? Which ones?
The book that I'm referencing is from the Iron Wall.
3 worlds, okay?
Are you fucking serious?
Are you serious? Like, are you serious?
You know what? I take everything back. I don't feel bad for this motherfucker at all. Not even a little. That was so low and hypocritical, and it was just straight up shitty. You got a neurological disorder yourself, and you're out here mocking someone? Like, get the fuck out of here, Ethan. Alright, I have said everything I needed to say. I've got nothing left. In conclusion, Ethan, you need to take several seats. Step back from H3H3. Let AB, Dan, and Olivia hold it for a while. Okay? Go take care of your mental health. Seriously, you really need to get into therapy and rest and reflect for a while. Because the way you're spiraling, you're not just burning out, you're digging yourself into a deeper hole every time you speak. Let me tell you this. You are fighting a losing battle. If you don't stop soon, it's not just your credibility that's going to collapse. It's everything you've built.